Live every day like it's your last. How many people have heard this quote before? So pretty much all of us, and some of you might even live your life by this quote, but I disagree with this quote because this assumes that you're going to die tomorrow, which means you can't plan for the future ahead because you're only focused on the present. So I believe that you must accept the present and realize the problems you have now won't last forever and things will get better in the future. So I'm here to give you 5 tips on how to live a happy life while also focusing on your future. Tip number 1 is to stand up for yourself. Now this doesn't mean physically standing up to someone who bullies you, but standing up for yourself in all aspects of your life. So for me, I was always the smallest kid, no matter whether it was on any sports team I was on or in the classroom. I was always the little guy, so it's pretty easy for me to get picked on or bullied by the upperclassmen or the older kids because I was the smallest. And back then when it was happening, I didn't say anything at the time, maybe because I was scared or just didn't want to say anything, so oftentimes I would go home from practice or I'd go home from school very angry and upset because I had a lot of built up negativity and anger that I just kept bottled up because I didn't say anything. But looking back on it now, if I would have just said something at the time, even though it may not have solved the problem, I would have felt a lot better because I wouldn't have all this anger and negativity built up. So I feel like you should always stand up for yourself and say what you have to say because you're going to feel better about it. And going along with standing up for yourself, you also need to be able to do things on your own, which I think we all realize. I know I did when I got to college, and our parents aren't there to do everything for us. We're going to have to do that a lot more in the future as well. Tip number 2 is to find your passion. And for me, passion is more than just a hobby. It's something that you love to do, something that makes you happy, and that you can't live without. So for me, it was the sport of wrestling. I still wrestle now, and I realized at a young age that I loved, just the one-on-one competition, being on the mat in front of everyone, just you and another guy. And I met lifelong friends and mentors along the way. And in the future, hopefully I want to be a teacher and a wrestling coach, and hopefully open my own wrestling club because wrestling is what makes me happy, and I can't imagine my life without it. So I encourage you to find something that makes you happy. Tip number 3 is to do a good deed. And for me, you have to ask yourself, when was the last time you wanted to brighten someone else's day or make someone else's day better? In high school, even before that, I was never big or active in the community until I got to college. I started doing more community service activities with my wrestling team. And I was honestly surprised at how rewarding it can be and satisfying to be able to put a smile on someone else's face and brighten someone else's day. I visited Rob Wood Johnson. I visited sick children at Rob Wood Johnson. I just hung out with them. I played video games, played board games, and it was such a satisfying feeling to be able to put a smile on their face, knowing that they were going through such a tough time. So whenever you get the chance, it doesn't have to be every single day. Whenever you get the chance, just go out of your way to brighten someone else's day. Tip number 4 is to realize that life is short. This is the harsh reality that we all have to deal with, unfortunately. I realized this freshman year of high school when my grandfather passed away. He was 65 years old, which is a relatively short life nowadays. I realized, life is short and you have to make the most out of every minute of it. And it doesn't matter if you know today is going to be your last day or not. Which brings me to my 5th tip, and that is to just live. Thank you.